Good afternoon, everyone. In today's podcast, we have some encouraging news about the rise in Dartford Warblers, a wrongful rescue, Canon's new camera body teaser, and I dive deep to find out what camera body and lens combo achieves the longest possible focal length. Okay, let's start up with the rise and near fall of a heathland specialist. From brink of extinction to flourishing populations. In the early 1960s, the Dartford Warbler population in the UK plummeted to just around 10 breeding pairs, particularly in Dorset, following the devastating winter of 1962 to 63 and widespread habitat loss. Thanks to decades of heathland restoration and milder winters, the birds' numbers rebounded significantly. With the national breeding population reaching an estimated 3,200 pairs by the mid-2000s. Conservation milestones in 1996 marked a turning point when Dartford Warblers recolonised the Suffolk coast after an absence of nearly 50 years. This was largely due to the strategic conservation by the RSPB and affiliated trusts. By 2021, RSPB reserves celebrated a record 183 breeding pairs, with RSPB Arne and Minsmere among the key strongholds. Monitoring and recent trends, Thames Basin Heath's SPA Special Protection Area. Annual surveys in this protected heathland region show year 2022, 702 territories, 2023, 437, decline due to harsh weather, 2024, 590, a recovery of plus 35% from 2023. Broader population insights. In 2017, approximately 2,200 pairs were recorded in the UK, reflecting substantial distribution expansion since the 1960s. Although populations fluctuated, notably after the severe winters in 2008-10 and the 2018 Beast from the East, habitat restoration efforts enabled recovery. Notable discoveries and range expansion. In 2023, a Dartford Warbler was unexpectedly heard and confirmed in Oxfordshire's Tubney area, marking one of the few recent inland sightings outside of its traditional heathland range. 2024 brought news of a remarkable longevity record. A bird ringed as a fledgling in 2018 in Cornwall was positively identified at the same site in 2024, now aged over 5 years and 8 months, a rarity given their usual lifespan of around 2 years. Why this recovery matters? The Dartford Warbler is now a UK conservation success story, largely credited to targeted habitat restoration, protected areas and favourable weather conditions in recent decades. Nonetheless, their resident nature, they don't migrate, means they remain highly vulnerable to cold winters, habitat degradation and climate change. This species is still listed on the UK Amber List and the IUCN's Near Threatened category globally, illustrating that while recovery is encouraging, vigilance remains essential. Let's run through some of the facts about the Dartford Warbler. Habitat specialist, it loves low, dense heathland with gorse and heather where it skulks and forages close to the ground. Tiny but feisty, despite being only around 13 centimetres long and weighing around 9 to 12 grams, it's very territorial and sings persistently to defend its patch. Its scratchy, fast and slightly harsh warble is often given from the top of gorse bushes or in flight. It's an insect eater. Mainly eats insects and spiders but will take berries in autumn and winter when insects are scarce. The bird got its English name after one was first identified near Dartford, Kent in 1773. Mediterranean roots, while it breeds in southern England, it's more common in Western Europe, especially Spain, Portugal and France. Sexual dimorphism, males have a striking slate-grey back and a reddish-brown underside while females are duller overall. Okay, here's a touching story straight from Rye Harbour Nature Reserve. 2 well-meaning visitors brought in a tiny ring plover chick, convinced it was lost, only to learn it was just being itself. Plovers are precocial. Rather than waiting in a nest, these chicks dash around within hours of hatching. Their nests are so cleverly hidden among the shingle that the eggs look like stones. And if danger approaches, the parent fakes a broken wing to lead predators away from the chicks. In fact, these birds are red-listed in the UK, with only 60 breeding pairs left in Sussex, half of which call Rye Harbour home. This little episode is a great reminder. Sometimes the best thing we can do is step back, observe from a distance and let nature do what it does best. Big news from Canon today. They've just teased something new, and it looks like we're getting a major camera announcement next week. Let's break down what we know so far and what this mystery camera might actually be. So Canon dropped a teaser across their social media. Canon UK simply said, "Something new is coming. while Canon USA went, a new way to capture the world. The official launch is happening on September the 9th at 2 p.m. UK time. That's 9 a.m. Eastern. And it'll premiere live on YouTube. Now, the teaser image shows a very shadowy silhouette of a camera, but a few details stand out. You can clearly see a red tally light, a record button on the grip, and a boxy design with multiple buttons. All of that screams video focused. Possibly a new cinema EOS style body rather than a traditional mirrorless camera? Who knows? The timing is also very interesting. This is dropping right before IBC 2025, which is one of the biggest broadcast and video tech shows in the world. Canon usually uses that event to show off its cinema gear, so the clue lines up. Now the big question, what is this camera? Some people are speculating it could be a new compact cinema EOS camera designed for creators and filmmakers. Others think it might be a full-frame addition to Canon's V series, which focuses on hybrid video creators. Either way, the lack of a viewfinder bump and that prominent record button suggests this is more than just a regular stills camera with video features. On the YouTube teaser page, Canon is being playful in the comments. I see a lot of companies now taking this approach, like the airline Ryanair. It may just be coincidence, but I noticed the London Camera Exchange is giving big discounts on 3 camera models up until September the 21st. The R7, the R8 and the R5 Mark II. So my first instinct was, are they trying to offload their stock of older models as they've got wind of the newer versions of these bodies coming out? So, what do you think Canon's cooking up? A new cinema EOS? A V-series full frame? Or something completely unexpected? Now, recently I got thinking, what camera and lens combo achieves the longest focal length? Was it my Canon R7 and RF 200 to 800mm lens? No teleconverters, no bridge cameras, just the interchangeable system of a DSLR or mirrorless camera and lens. For this vlog, however, I won't be concentrating on the limited range of stills photography. I'll be focusing on, pardon the pun, video, specifically cameras that can massively push their focal length because they have the option of using 4K crop mode in video. So what mirrorless cameras in the Canon lineup have the 4K crop mode? The Canon R, full frame, released in 2018, the Canon RP, full frame, released in 2019, the Canon R7, APS-C, released in 2022, the Canon R10, APS-C, released in 2022, and the Canon R50V, APS-C, released in 2025. On the Canon R7, if you switch to the 4K video crop mode, you get an extra 1.81 times crop on top of the APS-C 1.6 times crop. So effective focal lengths in the 4K crop mode. Now with my Canon RF 200 to 800mm f9, the Canon RF 800mm prime, or the Canon 800 f11 prime, you get 2318mm equivalent. What about from other camera companies? So the Nikon Z800mm f6.3 on an APS-C ZF or Z50 plus the DX crop video, the DX already equals 1.5 times. In 4K crop video mode, it adds another 1.5 times, giving an equivalent 2.25 times. So we have 800mm times 2.25 equals 1800mm equivalent. Sony, the FE 400 to 800mm 6.3 to 8 GOSS on an A6700 has a native APS-C sensor with a crop factor of 1.5. So the 400 to 800mm lens is equivalent to a 600 and 1200mm lens. The A6700's 4K 120p video mode applies an additional crop of 1.58 times. This further narrows the field of view, much like a digital zoom. The final equivalent focal length is 1896mm. The longest lens out there at the moment is the Canon RF 1200mm f8 released in 2022. 1200mm with the APS-C 1.6 crop and the 1.81 4K crop gives you 3480mm equivalent. Now, while other Canon APS-C cameras like the R10 and the R50V also have the 1.6 times crop factor, the R7 is the most suitable camera for this kind of long-range photography due to its advanced features, including a high-resolution sensor, 32.5 megapixels, and a more robust autofocus system, both of which are crucial for getting sharp, detailed images at such extreme distances. While there have been some legendary and extremely rare lenses with even longer focal lengths, like the Nikkor 2000mm f11 reflex or the Carl Zeiss APO Sonar T 1700mm f4, they are not mass-produced, commercially available products and are typically for specialized applications like astronomy or surveillance. Therefore, for a modern, off-the-shelf combo, the Canon RF 1200mm f8L IS USM is the clear winner with that insane focal length of 3418mm. Even just taking stills, that would achieve 1920mm, which no other camera and lens combo can achieve. Please take a moment to give my podcast a star rating on whatever platform you listen. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll speak to you again soon.